For 3 years, I lived on nothing but fruits and vegetables. No processed food, no fast food, really no added sugar. I was obese and I progressively changed my lifestyle. Initially, I just stopped eating out. Then I started to really cut back on the meat and dairy. And then I just went really extreme where I just basically ate fruits and vegetables. And again, I sustained that for 3 years, and I was very skinny. You could even say borderline too skinny, definitely. But I was very focused on not going back to obesity. Since then, that was a few years ago. Since then, I've balanced my diet more. I've put on more weight because it was very mentally hard to put on more weight after losing so much weight. After losing 200 pounds, I didn't want to put on any weight because I was scared I would go back to where I was. So I was like almost in this eating disorder mindset where just the fear of food and extra calories was preventing me from adding some healthy treats or adding some sugar or adding some, not just fruits and vegetables. But eventually I overcame that. How? Just progressively, little by little, I would say. But it's not easy when you are skinny and you know that even if you have to put on weight, when you physically start to put on weight, there's a mental fear that other people are seeing you put on weight and your clothes are now changing again. And you can say, yeah, but that's fine. If you're too skinny, you want to put on weight. That's true, but mentally, there is something still that's negative or feels negative when you put on weight. So what I've learned is a big part of eating is psychological, like life. You do need to read the food labels. You do need to have some nutritional education. As an example, the average added sugar per day you should have is, for a male, around 38 grams per day. So even if you have a little bit more or a little less, that's kind of like the baseline recommendation. And what I've also learned is that you can discipline yourself and just eat fruits and vegetables, but life is a little bit too unenjoyable if you have no treats. Now, certainly you don't want to go to the point where you indulge in too many treats and you're severely overweight and your quality of life and the way you feel about yourself and about your goals is negative. But I definitely want to make the statement, after disciplining myself for that long, I was in an intense mindset, but also I came to the realization that, look, even if I stay disciplined myself, life is too hard and it's too you have to be so intense to be at that level for that long a period of time that I said to myself, what am I doing? I can keep doing this because I was able to do it in a healthy way. I was not, throwing up. I was eating the amount of calories I needed to stay alive, to stay healthy, and I wasn't doing anything negative, so I could have kept doing it. But there's a discipline to just eat fruits and vegetables, no added sugar, no treats. The mindset is so intense for 3 years that I came to the realization that, life's not worth living. It's not enjoyable without some treats. The key is not to go to the other board where, oh, you're on vacation, you deserve a treat. Oh, it's Friday, you deserve a treat. Or again, back to the education on the nutrition, is if you're going to have a treat, you still need to read the food label. It still needs to be a sustainable treat that, I really don't go and have like this massive cheat day where I go and I eat a gallon of ice cream and a bucket of fried chicken like I used to. Now, I still, like everything, your weight fluctuates and you still add and subtract treats. And I have a wide frame. I've always been a wide person. I got a big ass, so I'm always been a bigger guy. So, but I also know when I'm above the weight I should be or above. You can look up in the books, they tell you what your weight should be for your height, but those are very legalistic because they don't take into consideration a lot of time your body frame. However, there's a guideline there, and I know even now, like I am moderately overweight, right? But I've turned some of that into muscle, and I've maintained a healthy lifestyle overall. And I'm at a more peaceful place and a healthy place, where I still am able to enjoy some treats without going overboard. Now, I could trim back on some treats even now and probably lose 10 or 20 pounds and be more in line. And I don't think that I would need to really discipline myself too much. I would just need to, restrain. But to go back to where I was and just eat fruits and vegetables, I would need to go to a severe place where life is just not that enjoyable. So, that key is to share my experience that, yes, it is wisdom to eat fruits and vegetables and to not really indulge in processed food or sugary food. And depending on your season, you need to really be mindful of the nutrition. You always need to be mindful of the nutritional value, reading food labels and understanding nutrition. And then you also need to be mindful psychologically what you need to do to sustain a healthy mindset. Now, that's going to change depending on the part of the journey, because there's certain parts of your journey that you got to get intense. In the beginning, you just have to cut out some basic excesses. Like if you're eating out every day, which I was, eating ice cream every day, just start cutting out that. You don't need to go extreme. Then, to really make progress, you may want to put the pedal on the metal. It's like you start on a highway. You just want to get on the ramp and you pick up speed, and then you're on the highway and you're going full speed. But then you don't want to live your life in the fast lane, right? So you want to eventually get off the highway and get to a more relaxed pace of driving. So, and then you want to downshift, right? So there are different degrees of intensity. But long term, you have to realize that life is not meant to be lived going 100 miles per hour. And you need to tone down some of that intensity for some enjoyment. You're really going to be able to enjoy it more, cruising a little bit more and enjoying life, having some sugar, having some treats, but not going overboard or not neglecting to read the nutritional value. So I have learned that health is a top priority and it always should be. I have learned that food is partly educational, but partly psychological, just like finances. You can put a spreadsheet on your monthly budget, but emotionally, you will still probably spend more on things you don't need because it's emotion. Same thing with calories. Maybe you should eat 2,000 to 3,000 calories per day, but you'll probably eat more. And that's not necessarily bad, but because, again, if you're always like in that line, you're going to be so disciplined, but you have to be mindful not to eat 10,000 calories. You have to be mindful not to blow your budget out $2,000 extra per month. So you got to have some structure, but some flexibility. You got to have some discipline, but some enjoyment. You, though, not your parents, not society, not your friends, not the people you go out to eat with, you, based on your journey, get to determine that. And you're going to go through different seasons, okay? But feeling good, number one, before looks, before even really digging into a lot of the metrics of health, blood pressure, cholesterol, etc., all those things are important. The main goal in your mind is to feel good. Because if you don't feel good, guys, life's just shit, okay? So you want to feel good, number one. There's nothing to do with vanity, your weight, your cholesterol, etc. Just you're feeling good. After you feel good, you want to measure what you're doing through some metrics. Okay, whether, again, your blood pressure, whether your weight, whatever. But again, you'll figure it out. And you want to look at the food labels. You want to find balance. You want to Look, you want to be in charge of your destiny, and so to me, I did what I need to do. Lost 200 pounds, changed my life without a nutritionist, without a doctor, without a personal trainer. And a big part of it was just food, not really working out. It's now that I'm in like my final phase of reinventing myself that I've put on more weight, and now I work out more with weights, okay? But that's kind of how it started negative, because when I was in my 30s and I had gotten extremely overweight, I started just working out and I didn't change my diet. And what happened was I ended up pinching a nerve. And then when I felt so much pain in my nervous system, I had to go to the hospital. I said to myself, I have to change my diet. It can't just be working out. And that took me on this journey. And then I lost 200 pounds without going to the gym, because I couldn't really work out. My body wasn't feeling right to work out with weights. It was all about nutrition. It still is all about nutrition, but there's a joy I get now through working out and feeling better. I like to have some muscle on me now, and I like to be a little bit bigger. Again, I could cut back on some food. I got a little bit of a wide ass, but the health, the nutritional labels on food, the different seasons on your journey, the psychological part about food and health, and that you need to discipline yourself. But if you have just fruits and vegetables, you're not going to enjoy life. If you have ice cream every night, you're not going to enjoy life. Somewhere in the middle is a balance for you. You get to determine that. Hopefully, this video helped you in some way. Okay, that's the whole point. All right, if it did and you want to support the channel, click that blue join button. I go live every night. Check out my playlist. I did a playlist about health. It's one of my least watched playlists because it's just basic stuff. And that was when I first started doing YouTube, and all my videos pretty much sucked. But I remember the first video I did on that playlist, Health and Well-Being. And you can check it out on my channel. It was just basically about read the food labels. And my camera was pointed wrong. Everything was wrong. But just sharing that is data, information, maybe help you. Okay? So thank you for watching. Keep showing up. Keep pushing forward. One day at a time, one step at a time. Peace.